Come on into the building, my people. Come on into the building. Come on into the building. Go tell somebody. Go tell somebody. Homie, HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. Don't let them know. We on and popping in the building. You guys were coming live from South Africa, man. Go tell somebody to go tell somebody. Your favorite herbalist, your favorite holistic practitioner is on. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all the new people on the station. Welcome to the HerbMan Show. I'm your homie HerbMan. All we simply do here on the HerbMan Show is teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. That's what we do. Let's get these cameras right, though. All right, let's get this thing all the way right. All right. Get it all the way right. You know, it's Sunday, fun day. Understanding this day, this time of rest, relaxation, this time of conservation, this time of meditation and rehabilitation. We all understand and we all realize that that's what Sunday is. If you don't know that that's what it is about, then just understand those concepts of when you can allow the mind to rest. Right? So again, you guys, we know that this is free information, okay? Free information. All you got to do is pay for this information. Is pay. You simply pay attention by tapping that screen. Once we put 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand. But we want to get this thing up to 100K while we're on the live broadcast, all right? We're teaching people how to heal yourself, but you got to know how your body works. And one of the unique ways that we are teaching people how the body works and what the human frame and the human design is all about is to teach you about nature. And the biggest example that we can utilize to heal ourselves in a natural conglomerate is through nature, is through how strong, how fortified, how firm our relationship really is. We got to be able to do that. A lot of us are not spending as much time outside in the sun, in the cold. You ain't experiencing cold either. So you got to understand that these things are not just about barbarism and trying to be out here and freeze yourself to death and go to the extremes. We're not talking about that. But what we're talking about is knowing and understanding them to the point of understanding how they influence your body's reaction or response to environment changes. Now, you have environmental changes throughout the universe all the time, you guys. It ain't just about if it rained or if it's sunny outside. It's about if a cat walked up behind you and drawed your skin. You know, you didn't know it was a cat, you get scared, right? It's all of these stimuli in our environment is creating fluctuations with two major factors within our body. It is two major factors that influence the compository understanding of the universe, and it is two major factors that influence the inside of the body. As above, so below. There are two major components that produces a life force in the universe. That is electric and magnetic. Electric and magnetic produces a force. And you are an electromagnetic being running off of temperature and fluid fluctuation. Your body must maintain a 97 or above temperature in order for it to produce healthy organic matter within you. Healthy bacteria, healthy blood cells, healthy nerve cells, muscle cells, immune cells, healthy this cell and that cell. And it don't matter, but there is a incubation process. There is ingredients that are going on within you that you don't understand that is happening within you, whether you have stimuli or not. Now, when you do get stimuli, there are reactionary things that you have to perform that is going to, in fact, initiate some chemical messaging, which then going to get spewed in your blood, aka the endocrine system. This hormonal system or this endocrine system is the one system that has been underestimated in medicine and probably still need to be really looked at because it's the one system that has also been aligned with a lot of your esoteric information when it comes to chakras and that of that nature. So the endocrine system plays a spiritual role also within the conglomerate of the body and the mind concept, or the mind and the spirit concept. So we know then that this endocrine system must add value to what it is that causing disease or healing. It's either going to cause you disease or healing. Why would it cause you disease? When you get off balance of the yin and the yang, when you get off balance of the seesaw. The whole life lesson is to balance this being. When you get off balance and also create that off balance for years, then there's going to be something that's going to happen chemically that's going to throw you off. Now they call it stress hormones, you can call it reproductive hormones, you can call it this, you can call it that, but it's these messaging systems that are spewing into the bloodstream that are causing the thing. So now how do we create harmony within our body? That's the question. After I tell you what it is, the next one is how do you do it? How do you create harmony within your body? You got to see how the earth creates harmony within itself. There's a time and a season for all things. Time for war, time for peace, time for this, time for that, time to make some money, time to rest, right? It's a time for flood, it's a time to plant, it's a time to harvest. So we know that everything has time, and now we got to get back to the timing of things, which is now we back at what we talked about yesterday, which is the knowing when. The knowing when is what got you messed up and all out of shape, and you don't know what it is. I got some receipts for you guys. Let's keep tapping out, keep talking to you guys. Let's get us up to 100K. Welcome, welcome, welcome all of you guys to the HerbMan Show. Y'all know how we do it. Coming live from South Africa, man. We got the packages going out this week, you guys, as well. So get your packages now. Get your packages now. We're talking about the Owners Manual, man, the biggest, hottest program on the planet right now, all right? If you're trying to get back into your wellness, you want a program, not a product. Okay, there's no such thing as a product that can get you back to happiness, wholeness, and wellness in the way that people are yearning for. But there is a program, and we've been able to tap into that information and provide you that for a funky, measly $50. You'll have everything you need for the rest of your life. Okay, funky, measly 50. You have everything you need for the rest of your life in order to take your health back into your hands. Y'all get that? Thank you, Gladys, for the update. The sound is probably better only because of the fact that I'm playing the music through there as well. How to get the owner's manual? Just DM me. We'll get you all the information that you need. Okay, just DM me. We'll get you all the information that you need. All right. So here go the receipt right here. This is what we're gonna start with. Y'all keep tapping. I keep talking. Y'all know I come with that power on Sundays. Now we got to do the power on Sundays. Sunday fun days. Wow. When you guys on YouTube basically just put up a Psalms 16 and 11, you have made known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasure at your right hand. Again, if you know anything about esoteric understanding, if you know anything about Gnostic understanding, if you know anything about mythology, if you know anything about how to decode and read, um, I like to call it theological writing and literature. then you must also understand that you should have some kind of spiritual awareness as to what you're reading, and to try to understand that it's more talking about the motions of the spirit, aka the motions of the mind, right? So here you have this passage talking about a way to view the mind and a way to understand the mind. Okay. You have made known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. That didn't say left hand. So at your right hand is a directed toward thing that we're given, understanding the navigation to this particular type of understanding that we're looking at. See that it gave you where to be and how to get there, but you got to see it. You have made known to me the path of life. Okay, so you done told me the path of life. You will fill me with joy and in your presence with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Then you already told me too that it's at your right hand. So the path of life is on the right side. Okay? Let me let me bend this down for a little bit now, cause see y'all want to go to church, but you got to understand what we've been teaching you about high tide and low tide, and about feminine and masculine energy. See, the path that we should be on got to get us to the right side. Okay, to the right side. Now, you could be on the right or the left side in life right now, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on the right side in consciousness. Who rules the right side of the mind, of the brain? Anybody knows? Is it masculine energy or is it feminine energy? Is it masculine energy or is it feminine energy? Who rules the right side? Now, this is where I'm gonna get y'all messed up at, because I know where y'all going. This is where I'm gonna get y'all messed up at. The literature is talking about the right side of the mind because it's always talking about the mind. But in all honesty, the left brain controls the right side of the body. So that would be masculine energy that controls the left side. But because we know that this is talking about the mind being the right hand, being the mind, then we can understand that it's not talking about a literal right hand, but it's talking about the right mind. And the right mind, what runs the right side of your brain is the feminine energy. Okay. So in essence, what we're saying, the path of life, it can be more highlighted, and you get all of your eternal things. Everlasting life must come out of eternal presence. Ain't that what it said? I'm just getting off your scriptures, because see, that's what y'all like to believe in. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasure at your right hand. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasure. I will have pleasure eternally, meaning forever, right? Once I get to understanding the rightness of my particular being, the rightness, the righteousness, the right-handedness on the right side of the boat. All these different references of the tree of life and all that being on the right side, right? We know that if you stand and face north, what's on the right side? East or west? You stand and face true north, which side is the east gonna be on? Anybody know? My YouTubers out there, welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody know? If you stand and on the true north, which side is the east side going to be on? Thank you, thank you, thank you, the Duchess. It's going to be on the right side. And the east side is the side the sun come up, the rise, right? Remember that we told you that even in the midsummer, in the in the ancient Egyptian days, right? We told you that spring to midsummer was the high rise. That was Aket. The high rise was Aket. And also, did you not know that the high rise was so of the flood of the Nile was so important, but that was also about the Pleiades. Pleiades is the Sirius star, and Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C is also the women that Orion is chasing after. So when you're looking at the pyramids being about Orion, then you got to look at who Orion chasing after, and that's Pleiades, the seven sisters. And amongst those Pleiades is Sirius Star, which is what really you supposed to be calling Sophia. Sophia had a baby called the Sun, which is the sun of this earth, which is supposed to be trying to take over the sons of. Oh yeah. So all of this different mythology, right? You come up out of all of this information, understanding the dynamic in which the feminine energy or that life-giving aspect is the side of you that you don't know a lot about because it's life-giving. Let me ask y'all something. And we ain't gonna try to we're gonna try to keep this as family friendly as we possibly can. But let me ask y'all something. There's something on each one of our bodies that's life giving. Everybody know what that is. There's something on each of our bodies that's life giving. Everybody know what that is, right? So we understand that we have a life giving ability, but we don't understand how to activate it when it's just you. When you don't need another person to reproduce, but you need for self to reproduce, that's your missing art. That's your missing art. When you are required to reproduce a result from yourself, when you don't need nobody else, you falter there. So now you need the doctor, you need the lawyer, you need the banker, you need a wife, you need a mother, you need the children, you need friends, you need co-workers, you need because you always because you have not yet understood how to reproduce asexually with this. But see, now I told you that these physical disabilities will approach you because they are really spiritual disabilities that are starting to rear their head through your physical being. And let me repeat that one more time. I told you that these physical abilities will approach you because they are really spiritual abilities that are starting to rear their head physically. Reproducing of oneself, in that if I got a thought, if I got a feeling, I can make it happen with myself with no one needed to do that. So that's what you start seeing with Buddha and the Indians and the Tibetans and the Asian monks. They start to go off on journeys alone and try to reproduce themselves. The only issue that makes this different than the ancient is that now we have new information about the body that we can put into this old Calabasas, this old time clock, this old ancient machine, this old ancient instrumentation of mathematics that put you back into balance and get your coordinates right with nature. So we put what we've learned now new into this magnificent aspect and genius of numerology that we've ever seen before. An ancient technology, y'all don't know what y'all listening to or what you're hearing. That can balance you back out with nature again. And so you see that the path of life is getting you to the right side, which is the high tide, which is your meditative, your healing side, in order for you to be able to heal yourself. Period. Right? Bottom line, y'all can go ahead and start taking orders now. Go to my DM, get your owner's manual. Let's get you back healthy today. All right. Now we can do this several different ways. You guys, you keep tapping, I'll keep talking. We can do this several different ways. I can always continue to open up Bible verses after Bible verses after Bible verse and show you about the mind, okay? About the evolution of your mind, okay? The evolution of your mind is what we got to open up in order for you not to be dependent on the healthcare system the way that you. Do we need surgeons? Yes. Do we need chronic medications and prescriptions? No, because nature can handle most of those chronic situations. Nature can handle most of your chronic situations. You may need the hospital for acute situation, but there are more people getting sick from the daily cold than there is dying. Let me repeat that. There's more people get sick from cold and flu than actually break their leg. So then the healthcare system should be small. There's more people getting cold and flu on a daily basis than dying. So therefore, the funeral should be small. And we should be able to take care of most chronic conditions like heart disease, like COPD, like autoimmune diseases, like inflammatory diseases. You know, all these different things that you're going to be plagued for the rest of your life is called a chronic condition. If they tell you you had to be on medication for the rest of your life, that is considered a chronic condition. Most of those can be taken care of with herbs. But there is going to be some factor of you having to deal with your mind only if you want a healing. If you just want treatment, the herbs will help treat it too. And you could just rob Peter to pay Paul. You would have just swapped out the pharmacy man at Walgreens for the pharmacy brother and sister that got a little learning, open up a little herb shop in your neighborhood. You can go to them and you can finance those mom and pop shops. You can support those mom and pop shops to be the alternative to your day in and day out medication because you don't want to change your damn mind still. And that's fine if you don't want to change your mind still. But you can still get on mama's herbs that can still treat you even though you don't want to change your mind. They were good for that too. I just don't like treating you that way. But at the end of the day, it ain't about how I love you, it's about how you love yourself. So if you want treatment, then that's what you're going to get. And what I'm saying is the herbs can help treat your chronic condition. So you should have been already up off the daily routine of pill popping and on down there to the mom and pop shop selling herbs. That should have been a known anyway. But when you're talking about healing, then there's a component of your spirituality that must be focused on. And that's why so many people that know this information will take you on retreats to get you away from your busy daily life and then do this on you. And you don't even know the difference. You don't know what they do. You just thinking, oh, they just let me do a little yoga and I could choose. And then I did some massages. And then we went to the hot springs and I got hot charcoal all on me. And then, good, you know, we was out there in the sun. And then we went to the beach and, you know, we ate nothing but pina colada and eating salad all day. Fruit and don't understand that they put your ass on the natural program. Put you back in tune with nature. Giving you herbs, giving you the fruits and vegetables coming from that natural environment, putting your ass right back in tune with nature. Giving you that thermal water, right? Because they're doing what? Balancing the temperature and the fluids in the body. And the only way you get disease is because we interrupt this endocrine system and we'll make these particular glands spew out or give up on us more often than not, more than what they're supposed to, because we're reacting to the nuances of life. Chronic stress ain't nothing but another word for chronic spraying of chemicals in the blood. Keeping you under stress, meaning that you also got to deal with that stress, which is keeping you under cortisol, under adrenaline. So after a while, the adrenals are going to run out if you're under adrenaline. After a while, your adrenals are going to run out if it's the one producing cortisol. Okay, well, the adrenals also control the kidneys. So now the kidneys start to run. Well, what does the kidneys do? The kidneys balance what? The pH balance of what? The fluids. It is in the fluids that you have to learn how to control. It's temperature and fluids. If your high tide go up and you can't control the balancing act of the high tide within your body. Now, understand that this is happening in your world every day, twice a month. So when the moon affects the waters on the earth, they're also affecting you, but you don't see that because you ain't in nature. So now you either get more happy or pissed off at certain times of the month. And you can't seem to see when that is. Let me repeat that one more time. They said I had a few little folk in the back here. So now you getting happy and sad a few times a month, but you can't peep out when that really is. If you start to have this body experience and watch yourself and start thinking about what you're thinking about and start seeing how life is running you through this little robotic episode that you're in, then you start in the direction, right? So now you say, well, damn, he about right. There is going to be some good times in that month, and it's almost around the same time of each month. But you got to peep that out, right? So now when I start peeping that out, now I start to learn how to ride the wave of these times. Now, when I start learning how to ride the waves of these times, now I know that it ain't by accident I'm having good days like this, and it ain't by accident I'm having bad days like this. It ain't by accident. And so now when I say that the high tide is an inviting time, a magnetic time, and the low tide is a release time. So then, in other words, in stock market talk, we mean that the high tide would be inviting, means the buying time, means to buy. Uh-oh, now I'm teaching you financial literacy. And that means that the low tide means release, that means to sell. Okay? That's the balancing act. It's a constant seesaw of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Okay? And the reason why is organically in the fluids, if you don't keep this ratio to the way it's supposed to be, then there begins to be a high concentration of what you would call minerals, but we call them the salt. When you get a high concentration of sodium to potassium, that's creating an imbalance to your cells. To the look, I'm gonna tell you something. I know this shit like the back of my hand. I'm just telling y'all about the owner's manual, man. Let me stop right now. All right, y'all keep tapping, I'll keep talking. I know about the body better than anybody you could probably imagine. I'm if we could talk about herbs, I'm gonna run with the best of them. We could talk about the body, I'll run with the best of them. We could talk about and phytonutrients and all these big old terminology you want to use, and I can roll with the best of them. I try to sum all of that up because this is better than me. I'm conceding to something better than me, and that's nature. But talking about man to man, talking about models and ain't nobody fuck with me on this shit. But I will tell you that I'm very humble to know that this is better than me. And that if I had to, without having to be a doctor and do this and do that, and look for something that's situation that I've ever, I done had all kinds of machines. I know iridology. I done had the iridology machine. I done had the bioresonance machine. I done had this machine and that machine. I did natal chart readings. I done did all the research and everything. I'm a geek on this stuff, you guys. So I done bought all of those things, all those health equipment, instrumentation. Ain't nothing better than this. So biologically, I can break this down and tell you about sodium and potassium levels, and I can tell you about your calcium and magnesium levels, and I can break this down and tell you about those ratios. But the finite understanding of what I'm trying to tell you is that once the balance break, that's where disease come in at. So how you heal the disease is to recapture the balance. Now, your biggest question got to be then is where is the imbalance? Anybody know? Talk to me, somebody. What's going on, YouTubers? Talk to me, somebody. Does anybody know what is causing the imbalance? It could be several different things, but that's your next question. And that should be the biggest question. When you going to the doctor, when you your pastor, when you're going to the therapist, when you're going to the psychologist, when you're going to the teachers, when you're going to the counselor, going to even in your conversations with your loved one. You know what I mean? We got to be understanding what is the root cause of the imbalance within my social construct as well as my self construct. I understand I have certain phases in my life where I will be about self, right? Which is the spring. I understand I also got a time where I'll be about my social awareness too. I'll be about my environment, things around me. I have more of a say so about my social standards, right? Whether I might not want to vote. That's a social stance of mine. It's a standard of mine. I may want to vote. I may not want to volunteer into the politics or the religious aspects of things in the system, but that's my personal stance, my standard. I may not believe the way everybody else believes, or I may not praise or pray or show belief in the way that everybody else may do. But that's my personal stand. Everybody get one. But to activate this so that you don't have to be dependent on those things that I just named is what you should be every day of your life trying to find the key to. This ain't just about this is about answering all of the questions you ever had. And it ain't me that's gonna answer about answering all of the questions that you ever had in any language on the planet that you in. I'm in South Africa right now. You know these people here, they speak a little Vende, little Songa, little Zulu, little Swahili. You know what I'm saying? You got all these different languages, right? They speak a little English as well. You know, some folks gonna speak a little Portuguese. You know what I mean? You know, we call it Spanish or whatever where we come from. But at the end of the day, you got all of these languages and all of these different melting pots of people. But at the end of the day, there's one question that's on the forefront of each and every one of your foreheads. And I hope you can get this in the language of your country because you know I'm talking to you. That's why it's important to tap the screen and share. There's a Spanish baby right now, a Latin baby somewhere. There's a European baby. There's an African baby, an Australian baby, a North American, Canadian baby, a Russian baby. There's an Iranian baby. There's a Middle Eastern baby, an Israeli baby, along with a Pakistani baby, all at the same time. At some point, is needing this information. And that's why it's important not to miss the show. I try not to come up here and really run this in your brain like that. At the end of the day, I'm convinced. Instead of asking me about how to heal your blood pressure, your diabetes, this and that, and the third, I could very well help you and will very well help you if you choose me instead of Mama Nature. But at best, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that at best, my stuff is treatment. If you want to get off your medications and just want me to treat you and you be on earth for the rest of your life, we can do that. And I appreciate you. And I sure appreciate you. You understand me? I sure appreciate you because I do have monthly bills. But if you are looking for something else, something powerful, something that is costly, not going to cost you a whole lot, something that is highly effective, but also something that is going back into the old way and bringing knowledge from mama. Now, they used to be able to throw this and do this and do that to enact this. But now, because of the modern age, we can use numbers again. You see what I'm saying? We can use numbers again to put you back on the path of life. So your manufacturing date is your birth date, your flower number. There are 12 to 13 different types of models of human beings on the planet as of today. You have two sun signs, okay? When the sun is in one sign on one hemisphere, it's in the other on another hemisphere. The sun never dies. So one person just seeing the front end while the other person is seeing the back end, okay? The moon is in control of the water. The real significance of the moon is because that is the part you have to control. You have to control your emotions by being in this dynamic. So water then is going to be one of the biggest components to healing that you can imagine. Water. Because you come from water. There was water in the womb that you was in before you got here. It was in the control of those waters that made you come out healthy and unhealthy. Because you was a living organism, you was a living cell that came from two different stem cells. One of a male stem cell and the other of a female stem cell got together and formulated a mother cell that then divided and made you. Right? So it is this component of how to keep the environment within the structure balanced. So when you get mad, you get acidic. But guess what? When you get happy, you get acidic. But the only thing about your happiness that's creating the acidity is that there is a bufferer that comes out in the form of some of your glands, right? Like the oxytocin, the serotonin, some of this stuff kind of are antioxidants. So they oxidize a little bit of that acidity. Yeah, you get me. But when you get angry, when you get mad and you can't sleep and you're worried and you're anxiety and you're stressed out and you can't sleep, and you ain't happy, so you're not producing antioxidant-based substances that can fight off the acidity of the emotion that you're producing from more water. So understanding temperature and understanding the high tide and low tide, understanding when these things are happening, understanding that kind of thing in the flow with nature, understanding how to flow with these things, to understand opportunities to pray and to be steadfast and all this. We want to help you along the way to your happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. So you guys are interested in your mail, please DM us. We'll get all the information that you need. Let me go to the next receipt. You keep tapping, you guys. I keep talking. Let's get it. My next receipt here, man. Let's pop it. Let's pop it. All right, let's see, can we roll this down? So right now, YouTubers, we're over here scrolling and looking at the moons. All right, looking at the moons. Okay. So right here, June 2025. This is high tide, low tide. Now understand the half. Okay. You got a half, you got a 3/4 or a third quarter, you got a quarter, a first quarter moon. These are all about your waters, and you don't even know it. These affect your waters, and you don't even know it. You just know, oh, they just do women. They do men too. These just don't affect women's waters. They affect men waters, right? This is also a part of the timing process to knowing when. It's the moon cycle. And you really only got 2 full moons out of this whole little span if y'all can really see it. and that's on June the 11th and June the 12th. Okay, that was the full moon. That's high tide. If you had to manifest it, prayed, proud, requested, and understood and caught that time, yourself uh, uh, rest and all that type of stuff, and magneticism and just contemplation and all the stuff that you did, you could have did something big that day. But guess what? Because you didn't know it, you still did something on that day. Now think about playing with a gun and gonna shoot it whether you know how to work it or not. Think about working with electricity and you're gonna work on it or not, whether you know it or not. Whether you know electricity or not, you got to work with electricity. So all this time you've been going through these times, not knowing what they are, and things have been happening to you, good or bad, on these days. But you ain't never figured it out. June 11th, June the 12th. The next time will be the new moon. The black is the new moon. The full moon, y'all know that. The color that you can see. The black is the new moon. You only got 2 days really out of all that. It's really only 2 days of new moon. That's the 25th and the 26th. That's the 25th and the 26th. The new moon is about what? Receding. Those hidden things. See, they pop up. That retreat time. Remember, that's that sale. So if you're financially literate and you're on the stock market, I just told you that next week, this week coming up, the 25th and 26th, sale. And then come back and holler at me. Sale. Sale. And then come back and holler at me. And for some of you other guys that ain't playing with no money on the stock market, then I want you to be in your house and start to release something that is important to you. Now, again, these all are things that you should pay homage to. So when you're doing these things, go out and give back a plant to the moon. Go in your garden and pull up some out, something, give something back. Just like you set them cookies out for Santa Claus, don't set it out. Give something back to the earth if you're asking for it for something. Right? It's a reciprocal thing. You give it energy, it gives you energy. It's always worked like that. Now it's time to work it in your favor. I said I already sold out my Bitcoin. Okay, well, I guess you did good. But you got to see. You got to see what just happened. Now, I don't know when Trump bombed Iran, but look at when the timing is. Okay, so you're talking about what, the 21st, the 20th? So that was when it's all of these quarters and all that stuff, these things mean something to the fluid. It's telling you about your gas hand. It's telling you about your gas hand. Y'all don't believe what I'm trying to tell you, but I'm trying to put it to you in layman's terms. YouTube, I wish you guys could see this. We're talking about the moon phases. These things, this is your gas hand. You're a little full up here, and then you get full throughout the month, and then you're going back empty. So then new moon would be the empty, the sale. I'm trying to give it to you the best I can. You see, it's a gas hand. You on full as far as frequency, as far as energy, you on full. But then you'll empty out and you don't know why you're getting tired at these times. You don't know why. See, but my thing about it is some of these times where you're getting tired, you're still trying to do something other than rest. So now you emptying out the tank even more to where you ain't got nothing for the good times or the bad. See, what I'm trying to get you to see is that you're trying to do so much with so little energy that you start to dissipate the energy you got. We need that energy to heal you, but you can't rest. because you ain't got nobody helping you with the bill. You ain't got nobody that's gonna do this for you. You ain't got nobody that's gonna do that for you. You steady worry about who gonna take care of the kid, who gonna take care of the husband, who gonna take care of the disabled person that we taking care of, who gonna take care of the foster children, who gonna take care of mama, they getting old, who gonna do this and who gonna pay the bills and who gonna do this and I'm gonna lose my car, I'm gonna lose my house, I'm gonna lose this and I'm gonna lose that, all with a diagnosis of cancer, AIDS, everything. You go into losing phase and it zaps your energy. So that one little diagnosis zapped you so much. If you don't understand that we got to renew that. How do we renew the energy? Well, we just now taught when we get the new energy during the full moon. But if there's an emptying that is happening every month, and then there's a filling that is happening every month, I must make sure that I'm getting refilled because I gotta empty. You can't keep it all. There is a seesaw effect to this. You gotta get it and give it, get it and give it, get it and give it. You know why? So that you can leave out of here broke even. You ain't supposed to leave out with something. See, the object of this game is to leave out broke even. You ain't supposed to owe nobody. See, the object of this game is to leave out broke even. Somebody said, "What now? So many dark nights in June." I don't really understand what you mean by that. Give me some more. Give me some more. Go deeper. Go deeper. Give me some more. Give me some more. So it's about timing. Okay, the knowing when. So when is my time to heal? Let me ask y'all this so we'll know that y'all understand this. When is the time to heal? New moon or full moon? When is the time for healing? New moon or full moon? Line that said full moon. Sydney said she don't know. KLM said full moon. BJ said new moon. You're wrong, BJ. Cosmic Speak said full moon. Natural Nutty, full. Crafty Fat, full. Full, full. Holly said new moon. You're incorrect. Takesha Hunter, you're incorrect. Okay. Natural Beauty, full moon. El Gross 80, full. Okay. Right. So now we know it's when it's in the full. Okay. So now we know when to start doing things. And the reason why you would do that at a full moon ain't because you're doing nothing about no moon, is because you're doing something about your frequency. You're understanding this information is all about. Let me say this. Let me get this off my screen real quick. This for my YouTubers and my TikTokers, you guys, everybody that's at TikTok, go on over there to YouTube. Please subscribe just in case something happens to TikTok. Everybody over at YouTube, please go on over to TikTok. That way you can really, really get into the discussion like we're gonna be doing. All right. But I got y'all in my rear view over here, um, YouTube. So I ain't forgot about your physical church. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. All right. Now, at the end of the day, you guys, what we're trying to say is this ain't about following no moon. This is about knowing when to start to capture the power that you're seeking in what it is that you're doing. This is where we're starting to change the world because we're starting to change the world within you. You can't change the world when you full of high tide. You can't change the world when you full of low tide. But when you have this balance, we can be here for everlasting. If I can understand that I can't be too acidic because acidity will kill me, and I can't get too alkaline. Did you not know that? Did you know that if you go below 5 point something in acidity, you down there where it's gonna corrode and eat you up, right? So you can't get too much acidity in you, even though you do have things that are within you. that are less than 3% acidity. You got your stomach acid at about 1 or less, with all the peptic acid and the hydrochloric acid. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that if your bloodstream get acidic, get out of here. Now the blood is between what, 7.35, 7.45. So then we're just gonna say 7.4 or 7.35 is where it should be. That's alkaline. So even if you go down to, if that blood go down to 7.3 or 7.25, you about to die. And that's still alkaline, but it's too acidic for your blood. Listen to what I just said to you. Your blood is 7.3, 7.45, let's say 7.4 or 7.35. That's alkaline. Anything above 7 is alkaline. So you mean to tell me that the blood, if it just go to 7.2, 7.1, I'm finna leave you. And that's still alkaline. But it's too acidic for the blood. Now, the flip side is if your blood get up here in 9, you're gonna leave here because your blood can't get too alkaline either. So it has to have a steady, constant balance. And the reason why I even use that analogy is to tell you the thin line between love and hate. The constant balancing of these continued constructs. You're learning life if you start looking at nature. And if my blood got to be like this, then that means I got to be like that. Because I can't be too far gone. I got to be on that motherfucker just like that in that neutral. Dipping and dabbing, but I got to have a consistency to where if I got to stay steady on 0.0, when I was in the Navy, I used to drive the ship, USS Bellawood, same ship that was in that movie with Denzel in there, right? You know, but I used to drive that big ass ship, right? And it used to be like steady on course 000, private eye, sir, steady on course 00, right? And you got and the factor to making you be one of the best helmsmen is you got to hit that motherfucker. You can't go off. I'm talking about them motherfuckers don't want you to go off a little B in order for you to be a master helmsman. You got to turn that big ass boat and all that water, and you got to hit it right on the dot if you're trying to be a. Now, how you gonna stop a ship on the dot in water? How you supposed to stop a big ass million-pound ship on the dot in water? But the boy knew how to do it. See, they knew how to balance the speed and the buoyancy, and they knew how to balance the shift and everything like that. So by the time I spun the wheel, I mean, and start making the boat turn, I'm gonna use that to know that it's gonna keep on turning by itself a little bit, so I can go and start turning back the other way. So then I start slowing that big ass turn around. I start slowing that big ass turn down. I'm sorry. And when you start slowing that big ass turn down, next thing you know, you end up back at steady on course 0. That motherfucker captain look back at you and say, "God damn it, boy, you done so good." You done so good, right? But we're using that analogy for you to understand the importance of staying in that range. Okay? Staying in that range. What is the benefits of the owner's manual? To get you back into balance with your life and to get you to stay in range. It is going to be a spiritual thing. This is not just something that you're going to get that's solely about your physical betterment. Yes, it will give you the herbs and things that you're needing, the foods, all those things that you're needing for your physical things in life. But this is a spiritual documentation that you're getting in your email. Going to solidify and always be a guide to you as you move through life. It's going to be your birth certificate. It literally is. It's the birth certificate with the words and the tendencies of this baby. That's what the owner's manual really is. It's the birth certificate with the model and the makeup and the tendencies of this baby born this day. And some of y'all already done lived in these tendencies. Some of y'all already done been hit some of these things that you're gonna see in your owner's manual. That's what blows people's mind is how in the hell I just gave him man $50 something my birthday. And damn near everything on the physical tendency side I done did that with. They be amazed. It's amazing. It's amazing. I will give you that. But it's also miraculous. It's also very, very strategic. It's very, very technical. It's very effective. And I'm very happy to be able to understand this language. It's a language. It's a spiritual language, and be able to be one of those people chosen to understand this particular thing is amazing to me. Now I've been able to simplify it and been able to kind of monetize it in a way where I'm able to live off of it. But at the end of the day, this ain't just for me, and I know that. So we trying to keep these prices no matter. Though we do understand the effectiveness of it. This really should be the highest pricing healthcare thing you could ever afford. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Whether you liked it or not, this really should be the highest priced healthcare thing that you could ever afford. You should not really be able to afford it if it was about dollars and cents. Because I would have automatically put this for the elites and tried to keep it and call it sacred up under that what you call that gate mentality. But we know that this is for the masses. We understood this coming in. The real reason why I'm in South Africa, because I already know America. I know how y'all live. And I got to watch out for these South Africans too. You know, I love y'all, but I got to watch out for y'all too, because y'all just as modern and just as good as the next nation by trying to politicize and quiet the talkers of the movement, right? But at the end of the day, you can't stop this shit. So for your little funky measly $50, this is what we're presenting, understanding and knowing that this is what you need. And once you get this ride, once y'all start to really get the wave of this, and it start really helping you spiritually, and start to really get you back on your feet, but really start to get you back in tune with you. Like we're like, damn, this shit fine. Like this shit got me talking to my old lady better, got me relating better, got me got Hubbard hollering at me better, knowing me better, being able to understand each other better, understand our non-negotiables, be able to get our characteristics, and so we don't keep fighting against why she doing it because that's a part of her, motherfucker, that you can't change. So she gonna always do that. Now you got to either ride with that, but you can't fight against that for forever when that's an actual non-negotiable. It's her personality. If you don't like her personality, then you don't like her. There's nothing that she can change. But if you knew that that's her personality and it ain't just an act, she ain't just acting like that, but that is how she act, then you understand the difference between those two things. She ain't acting like something. That's how she act. Then you have to validate that and be able to move on and understand that that's what she brings to the table. That's her response to stimuli in the environment. What you gonna do? What's your response? Right? And that's how we keep things cohesive when it comes to the high tide, low tide. Again, let me tell y'all something. This we've been illustrating this high tide as a very good thing. It is. But I will tell you that during the high tide, during your best times of the week, create a lot of toxicity. During your high frequency stage, during your highest frequency, which is during your highest uh uh during the high tide, right? During that good week of the month. Okay, you will create a lot of toxic energy. So you must understand the value of the low tide. You must understand the value of selling. You must understand the value of release because you can get so emotional and so caught up during that high tide. Rightfully so, you doing your thing. You magnetizing. You using the elements. But understanding that in that energy consumption that you're doing, you're utilizing a lot of energy. So therefore, you're going to produce a lot of waste, right? And that low tide is not taken care of. Don't get so high off making your life so better that you forget the rest. If you use the ancient magic, use ancient um, powers. Let me say that. You got to know how to use these right. This is potency at its finest. But you got to know how to use this right. You can't be reckless out here with this information. You can't be trying to be on no genie bottle. Yeah, it'll let you win a couple of numbers, but you won't live long enough to spend the money, because that's the fate of a consumptive. If you're a consumptive, death is the end of the day. If you greedy, death is the end of the day. If you gluttonous, death is the end of the day. It's the seven deadly emotions, seven deadly sins. You can't run away from the ending of living a life like that. So we ain't even got to worry about if you cheated, what's gonna happen. We ain't got to worry about it. That's something I don't even got to continue to expound on. Is what's the result of it if you just do it this way? The result of it is you still gonna leave him. If you just do it halfway, if you do it your way, if you do it, I know a lot of y'all just be like, look here, man, I know you got that 21-day detox, but I mean, what happened if I just do it for 7 days? You know that? Hey, look here, man, I know you got that month supply of your male energy, but what happened if I just cook it all at one time? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, you can cheat the system, but you still ain't finna go nowhere. You still ain't finna go nowhere. It's time. Hey, Mr. HerbMan. Mama, great to see you. What's going on, Mama Bina? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, so you see what I'm trying to say? So you cannot cheat this system and think that you're going to get the benefit out of it that we're actually teaching you that this actually is a benefit of. This is everlasting life that they can't fathom and understand. The path of life is on the right side, getting you to connect to your higher source. All I'm revealing to you is how to do it. How to do it has been told, now you know when to do it. When to do it now is all on you. It's all on you. You got to start looking at your life and seeing when I got my good weeks, when I got my bad weeks. Then you got to start looking at every month. And you got to start looking at your schedule of routine in your life. See, you're doing all these folk books. You all in these folks' records at your company. You all in these folks' computers and keeping records of, but you won't keep your own records of your own goddamn life. You all over there trying to fix somebody else's problem. They got $1 million while you got 1 million problems and can't fix one. Use the same thing that you're doing to make money to understand your spiritual. Your focus here is not just about your monetary gain. It is about your spiritual gifting and your spiritual value. You could be physically smarter than a motherfucker. Intellect is good. It'll get you $1 billion. But intuition will too. Intuition will too. Got everybody trying to go into the same hole. Who can be the smartest? But what about the more intuitive? Well, that's spookism. That's magic. They're gonna call it. It's real. Nonetheless, it's real. You can't see out, but it's real. God give us all we need. We just need to trust. There's a lot of people trusting, Gladys, but it's still folks leaving here trusting. They still leaving here trusting. I got some folks that just walked out of church a while ago that walked in with high blood pressure and left out of there with the same high blood pressure. It's 5 o'clock. You guys just go ahead and get us on up to 100K. You keep tapping out, keep talking. Okay? So we got to get out of that. In God we trust, so therefore we just gonna not do something. You want to trust in God, trust in nature, and start doing what thus said nature, and that's what the owner's man was all about. Okay, church ain't the answer. Well, I don't know if church is the answer or not. I just think that they don't have the answer. You know, there's a lot of infrastructure that's good, and it's for a good idea, but the idea that's good ain't came into existence yet, ain't it? You could build a house, but the house ain't made for you. You know that. You know, you can go and build you a house, and you might build your own house at 20 some years old, and something happen in life, your ass got to get up out of it at 25. But the next family that stayed and stayed in something for 50 years, so you build somebody else's house. It's not for you. So sometimes these little churches you building, the pastor of that church is sitting out there in the pew. He's sitting out there in the seat somewhere, but you can't. You're gonna take him through hell and high water for him to show you the gift that he brought in the church. He ain't trying to sing like that. He ain't trying to be known and heard like that, but he got a word in it that can build up any church around that area. But you ain't gonna let him ever know that he got it in him because there's a process that you got to go through that he don't want to go through because he feel like he shouldn't have to. Because what you have, you got maybe more of a talent, or what he got maybe more of a gift. So sometimes you can be building something for somebody else you don't even know. Like they used to have a saying, well, Martin marched, Jesse ran, but Obama won. You see? Martin marched, Jesse ran, but Obama won. So it happens at stages to where when you're looking at even the healing thing that's going on right now, if you look at social media, a lot of people claiming to be able to have products that can heal you. A lot of people. And you're gonna put me in the mix of all of them as well. So we got all of these people claiming that their products can heal you, can help you, and do this and that and the third. But how you gonna know which one real or not? You ain't got enough money to try everybody. You're gonna be done left away from him before you try everybody. So what you gonna do? How do you know who has something for you or not? How do you know when is the right opportunity? How do you know when to buy now or to sell? How do you know when to play the number now and not later? How do you know when you first fell in love with her and she was gonna be forever your lady? Now you can't say that she's forever your lady at 25, or just because y'all 25 years in, you say that that's your old lady when you're 60 or 70 years in and both of y'all about to die. And obviously that ain't going nowhere. So it's the result of something is what you're looking for. But how do you know when? I want somebody to answer that. I don't want nobody to just say yes. Y'all are coming on the station to learn. So the question is, how do you know when? How do you know when to stop eating enough chicken wings before you get high blood pressure? How do you know when to stop eating enough carbs or enough potato chips or sweets before you get high blood sugar? How do you know when to start doing this and that and the third before you got autoimmune disease? Like, how the hell you know when? Somebody said, learn your body. Another person said, know thyself. Okay, high and low tide frequency, you will feel it. When there is balance or a healthy balance, when you're tired of being tired and ready to do better, intuition, get a knowledge man. That's definitely a way for you to know when. I don't until I get my manual. Okay, intuition. So the biggest answer to that is your intuition is very answered. But what if you intuitively miscalculate? You know, like if I spin you around and you got to and you got to hit the little thing with the candy. What they call it? Spin the head on the donkey. See, if I got to spin you around and you're the one that's got to hit that little thing with the candy in it, even your intuition is off. Your intuition is off. You're the pinata, right? You gotta look at this now. If I spin you around, if I get you off of coordinates, if I tell you that this is the 6th month of the year when it's actually the 9th month of the year, or if I tell you that this is the 6 months of the year when it's actually the 4th month of the year, and I get you all off of nature, so I spin you around and put a blindfold on you in this path of life, and then tell you that you got to do it intuitively. Can't you see how your intuition can be off too? Can't you see how your intuition can be off too, right? Because all you'll be working with blindfold after a rebalancing, after a stirring up, after a social engineering, after a genetically modification, after a mixture of you that I put together a mix. You a mix. What you call a mutt. You a mix every little thing. So we're all over the place, but we're all also privy to all kinds of matter of issues because we're mixed with a cesspool of community of people. You know, we're flying on the planes with each other, we're on the trains with each other, we're traveling to different places with each other, and we're living amongst each other, and we're creating new bacteria, new environment, new funguses, new diseases, new species of humans. Okay? So with that being said, you done been swung around, blindfolded like a pinata, and you think that your intuition is the only way that you can do this, and that's not true, right? Somebody else said there, and I just wanted to check intuition because I know that that did sound like a great answer. It was a great answer, but you know when we're doing these things, I want to make sure that we have the right answers, not just great answers. Okay, um, and so at the end of the day, intuition will be thrown off, and your intellect. Because once I spin you around, I make you dizzy, I make you lose coordinates. You in a space where you've not been in before. And so intellect doesn't work in an unknown space. Intellect only works with things that it has already passed its spectrum of understanding. So now both of them are off. So how do we get you back in again? Is yes, this owner's manual to take the blindfold off and allow you to hit that pinata. The only way to get you back, and guess what, you guys? This owner's manual is a cop out. It's a cover up. It's a facade of something that's gonna help you with your physical body and your health, but it's gonna be the ultimate guide to help you with life altogether. And I'm gonna keep revising it, and I'm gonna keep putting in new information that nature want me to get to. I won't do it until I'm told, but I'll keep doing that. I continue to keep learning how to teach this, learning the different values that this thing offers to us as far as in the teachings, in the lesson, and different scriptures and different artifacts and different places on earth and different historical events and different body parts and different chemical discoveries and all that type of stuff is wrapped up all into this dynamic crystals and stones and all these timekeeping dynamics that we have. This is by far one of the best timekeepers, and it got you in it, and you have not. There's nobody on the planet that it hasn't kept the time up. This is an old ancient timekeeper. Okay, it's a math equation. The Greeks call it the iotro mathematics. I can just imagine what we called it in our own native tongue. Right. So you have this at your disposal. I'm proud to be able to be one of the few people that can teach you this. If you guys are interested in your owner's manual for a funky measly $50, you can get access to it. It does come in email format. You guys can DM me if you're interested. Any questions thus far? Thank you guys for the 80-some thousand likes. We're gonna keep on. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Beautiful delivery of message, Professor. I feel like I've been spinning around and my intellectual intuition is off in isolation now. Yeah, Dina K. Edmond. So let me show you something. If you are willing, you can come on the live and talk to me, or you can just simply give me your birthday. Let me show you what's going on. Okay, and I'm gonna show you just a little bit of what you get for a funky, measly little $50. I just need your birthday, your complete birthday, Miss Edmond, and then let's talk. And then maybe we can find some things. I like to try to find the spiritual thing. So May 23rd, 1986. Okay. So according to the owner's manual, every owner's manual has manufacturing date, a model number. And so we like to kind of go off that theme. And so your manufacturing date here, okay, and we're gonna use MFG. Okay, so your manufacturing date is gonna be 5/23. What should go? 5/23/86. Okay. 5/23/86. All right. So we know off the bat that 5/21 to 6/21, we're gonna make this young lady a Gemini. All right. We're gonna make this young lady a Gemini. She's in the first deacon of the Gemini. Okay. She's in the first deacon of the Gemini. So we want to highlight her sense of smell. Okay. Her sense of smell. We want to highlight that. Your sense of smell. Also, we want to highlight that you can be farsighted. Okay, farsighted. All right, Edmund. Now, farsightedness, this is what we're going to get into a little bit of spirituality. Okay. Farsightedness is not just about how far you can see, right? Because farsightedness means you can see very far, but maybe not that close up. But what farsightedness also means, Miss Edmonds, is that you're good at long-term planning. Good at long-term planning, but maybe that day-to-day task stuff, it can kind of throw you for a loop, kind of have you all twisted up around. So you need to get your short-term goal planning stuff situated. Your little day-to-day task, you got to get that situated. But here's the problem. Because you are a Gemini, okay, here is your starting point, which is your finishing line. And because the other part of you is a Sagittarius. The Sagittarius in you likes different things, like traveling, like moving around. And then you have this social ability, this intellectual ability that comes with the Gemini. So you got this social intellectual hunger, but you also got this unique desire to want to be nomadic in your approach. Now you may choose things stationary, but you really like to be nomadic. It's like as soon as you get stationary, you want to move. As soon as you move, you want to be stationary. As soon as you be stationary, you want to move. As soon as you move, you want to be stationary. So you have this thing that's going on within you that is causing the confusion. But let's keep it moving. What model number are you, Miss Evans? Miss Evans, before I go further, are you still with us? Before I go further, are you still with us? I ain't finna give you no more reading and you just sitting there watching me. So, man, you gonna talk or we gonna move to the next? We're gonna talk or we're gonna move to the next. Please keep tapping the screen, you guys. As you keep tapping, I'll keep talking, showing y'all a little bit about the owner's man. I'm here. All right, so how we sounding so far? So far, so good, Miss Edmond. All right, so the model number that you are, Miss Edmond, what we got to do is count this up. So 5 and 23 is 28. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 0 is 1. Okay. Then you got 1986. So we start with 18. 18 plus 6 is going to leave you with 24. So 2 plus 4 equals 6. And you got a 6 and a 1. That's going to be a 7. Okay. So you are a model number 7 human being. So you ain't just no any kind of woman. You ain't just no any kind of Gemini. You a model 7 Gemini. Well, what's gonna make that any different? What you mean by model? This is where the other zodiac people get this wrong. So a Gemini is going to be an air sign, and the Sagittarius in you is going to be which is what you utilize during your new moon times, is your element. Your element is a seven. A seven, if you look at it here, you got 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. So 7 is the pituitary gland. That's the water. So you're an air sign Gemini, but a water element, which means that you ain't like most of the other Geminis are air sign, air elements. They're gonna talk to their self, and they gonna want to go outdoors, and they're gonna want to do all this stuff. You got a little bit of that outside type of thing with you, but you water element. You like to talk in the shower. You like to talk when you taking a bath. You like when it rains. You like anything to do with water, and you just don't know why because you're such a Gemini. Why you love water stuff? It's because you different than everybody else, and that's what you get with the honest man. We're trying to show you how you start to narrow this down to who the hell you is off your birthday. She can't go give this remedy that she's about to get to somebody else. It will only work for her. There's somebody born in the same time. Okay? So now we got your element. So now because of that, now we can also now start talking about your spiritual and your physical tendency. Okay? We can start talking about your spiritual and physical tendency. You're an air, fire, water. Air, fire, water being. Off the rip, I can tell you that if you start having any issues in your body, the first thing I want you to start looking at is your deficient yin. Okay, deficient yin. So it's going to be on the left side of the body, on the lower left side. So from the hip down on your left leg, Edmund. If there's any kind of body issue, it's going to happen to your from your left hip down, right, your lower left side of your body. And why am I afraid of the water then? It's because you haven't been dipping and dabbing in your element. That's why you haven't been dipping and dabbing in your element. You see what I'm saying? And you're not afraid of water because you're not afraid of the shower. You're not afraid of a bath. You haven't been dipping and dabbing in your element. So you don't know how to use water the way you're supposed to. The model number, I broke that down based on the manufacturing date. So just like how you get a life path number is how you get the model number. You break this date down. So you add it up and then break it down to its simplest. Okay? Add it up and break it down to its simplest form. The life path numbers or the model numbers go all the way up to 33, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 22, and 33. If you look at that, those 12 numbers, but they all correspond to the seven chakras. Okay. So all of this stuff is in it. Everything is in it. Now, spiritual tendencies, right? The spiritual tendencies. Spiritual tendencies of Edmund, air, fire, and water. Off the rip, watch this. Guilt and unforgiveness. If you're dealing with anything dealing with your reproductive system, watch the guilt and unforgiveness. Okay? Self-control issues. If you're dealing with digestive issues, Edmund, watch the self-control. Grief and depression. If you're dealing with autoimmune issues or immune system issues or respiratory issues, sadness and loss. Watch your grief and depression. Right? If you're dealing with a delusion and loneliness, okay, then you need to watch out for maybe your eyesight, maybe some growth and development issues within your body, hair loss, infertility issues, etc., etc. Okay, and last but not least, attachment issues. If you're dealing with that, then you need to start looking at sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? Mood swings, all those types of things. If you're dealing with any of those physical things, then we need to deal with those spiritual things. Okay, so you tell me. Once I tell you what you got going on tendency wise, you let me know what it actually is, and then we can link you to the spiritual thing that you need to do work on. That's what makes this more of a spiritual program than any other program on the planet. Because we're going to give you these, and you have to deal with those as well. You got to. If you're trying to be healed. If you're just trying to be treated, we can do that for you as well. I told y'all that. Okay, I told y'all that. All right. So what you need to understand is that that's what you're getting. Now on top of that, now we're gonna chart you. So we got this 86 baby right here. That means that what she's with I want to say 38. Well, just had a birthday, so what? She's 39, right? 39 years old. So then we'll chart you 10, 20, 30, and 9 years old. So that's why you're on this live right here because for the last 9 years, Ms. Edmond, you have been super conscious about your health and fitness. So you've been super conscious, you've been super tuning in to all kind of people talking about all different ways of being healthy and fit for the last 9 years. But you also are in a transition. So since you turned 35 years old, unfortunately, you've been in this transition. Okay, so you're transitioning from this health thing. That means that you can have good health or bad health through this transition. Edmund? So that's just where you at right now. You're in that health phase of life. It can be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but at least you know that that's what you're going through. And then you'll be coming out of that transition going into your Libra here once you turn, I'll say, 45 years old. Okay? Now you know where you at. All right. On top of that, you're still in this high end, right? You're still in this high end of life, but you're also still in the body time of life. So this is your electric time, your masculine energy time. But during this transition, you really want to start working on your spiritual, your feminine energy time of life, your less physical, more spiritual time of life, because that's what you should be transitioning into. You should be transitioning into already saying, okay, I'm going to go into this next phase of my life with less physical uh, energy that I'm going to have to be required to do, and more spiritual, magnetism, feminine energy. You got to start getting into it. All right, Edmund, on to the next. Okay. And just like that, man, just like that, you start spitting out this information. Just like that. All right. And if any of that hit home, then just to know that if any of that hit home, then the remedies are also going to be there too. Because Miss Edmond would have gave you your foods. Well, what you get in the owner's manual is the foods that you need, which is coming from the colors. So you saw that you had air, fire, and water there, right? So you know we would have gave you some green foods for the air. If you were dealing with that air condition, the fire condition would have been your blues and purples, and then the digestive condition would have been your yellow and orange foods. So we shop by color. Then we would have given you the herbs as well. For air conditioning, we give you earth herbs. Fire conditioning, we give water herbs. For water conditioning, we give fire herbs. And that would have been what we call your natal blend. You get all of that for funky measly $50. You guys are interested, please holler back. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah, no problem. Okay. But that's just what it is, right? It's just all about those things. I know it's probably something that's really aiding you, Miss Edmond, that you want to talk about. Just DM me, do finish this, let this walk you through, let this hand you the remedy. Okay? Yeah, just let it hand you the remedy. I don't like to do diagnosis. I don't like to do self-diagnosis. I don't want no blood type. I don't need no blood sample. I don't need no urine sample, no stool sample, no saliva sample. We're not gonna prick you, prod you, or poke you. This is non-invasive, non-intrusive, but it is the most highly effective system when you're talking about going back to nature on the planet. Okay, that's just the bottom line. But you don't got to worry about nothing. Once you spend your $50 here today, you'll learn how to fish, and you won't keep having to come to the fish shack trying to buy a two-piece snack and some fries. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to heal yourself by constantly reminding you of what your life looked like on this life path. You constantly got that at the palm of your hand. You can constantly go back to your email or to your, I tell people to laminate it because you don't even know what Google gonna do, but just you constantly can look at the path and look at that life path. And you can constantly start learning about high tide and low tide, and you start to use it in your life. To, well, I got a business through that. I got this opportunity through that. I was able to get off of welfare because of this. I was able to get the stock market because of this. I was able to get my new car because of this. And now you ain't doing it by man no more. Now you're doing it by nature. It works. I've been working with my manual for 3 months and I am healing. Thank you, Natural Natty, for that. You keep tapping, he'll keep talking. Thank you, Angie P. Yeah. So we have people that are working it. You know what I'm saying? Is work getting diagnosed, or is it better to learn to heal with nature, etc.? Sydney, it is worth you understanding the value of knowing yourself. If a diagnosis is what you consider knowing something about yourself of value, then there you go. But what I'm going to say to not have to refute the word diagnosis is because, if you feel like that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But for me personally, I do feel like you should know thyself. And this is not a diagnosis, this is an assessment. But I think that it is by far the most natural way to accept what you know about self, right? I may can't accept your diagnosis, but I can accept this because there's no way for this to be accurate versus giving some blood, you should be accurate versus giving me my birthday. Giving me your saliva, you should be accurate. Giving me your poop, I should be accurate. Giving me your hair sample, I should be accurate. Giving me your spit, I should be accurate. But giving me your birthday, there's no way in hell. So now the value of that becomes heightened to where you don't have to pick me, poke me, or prod me to know about me. Now gives me more of a spiritual understanding of something greater than myself that knows me better than anybody else. Now this is about you and this, your relationship with what you would call God. It's formulating it. First, you got to know that God knows you. Because that's what your motherfucking problem is. Excuse my part French. But you think that God don't know you. And we're reminding you with the owner's manual under a facade of all of these names to get you back in connection with what you would call the all-seeing, the all-knowing, the all-powerful, the almighty. But it's in nature. And it left a illustration. It left a timekeeper for it to remember its babies. And it spits out all kinds of information that can get us back into our happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. So we got about 23 more minutes for you. I am coming live from South Africa. Anybody got any questions thus far? Anybody got any questions thus far about the owner's manual, about how you ascend, about how to get well, about herbs, whatever it is? Yes, I prefer the natural way, but I find it difficult to understand what it is I need to fix. That's why you need the owner's manual. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need the owner's manual. You just need to figure out if it's a spiritual thing or physical first. Me personally, I'm always going to come to a point to understand it as a spiritual thing. So just because sometimes it's a spiritual thing that hasn't manifested physically yet. So there's nothing for you to go take. There's no vaccine, there's no pill for you to take because hasn't shown or reared its head physically, but it's mentally, it's emotional, thoughts and the feelings of that. And what we have to work on is the behaviors come after those thoughts and feelings. And again, it's just another onslaught of knowing yourself. That's all. Okay. For you to understand what it is needed to fix is more about you understanding yourself. If neuropathy in the feet reverse, that's easy. I think spiritual, yes. But people born on the same day have same health issues. I don't know because you're born at different times. So when you're born at different times, there's shiftings happening in the constellation that will start to change the situation so that you don't have the exact same reading. That manifested physically. I refuse to take medication. There you go. The generational cycle spiritual. Yes, 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 they are. Because they are the traumas that you have embedded. Remember, I told you that it's okay to express emotions, but not to suppress. So you have generational um, emotions, traumatic things that have been left and deposited in the DNA of the cell. You know, like when the daddy beat your mama, but you hadn't beat nobody until you got 50, and then you put your hands on your old lady because beating somebody was in your DNA. It's just that you try hard not to. Okay, but it was in your DNA. And somebody press you long enough, strong enough, your daddy gonna come up at you. So that spiritual generational cycle is there. Okay. And that's why I keep trying to teach you guys about getting this owner's manual and really starting to fixate on these 7 deadly emotions, because emotions are going to be connected to the endocrine system. And the endocrine system is the system that if you don't learn how to balance it, is going to throw everything off. I just told y'all that the adrenals handle your what? The kidneys handle your pH of the fluid. The endocrine system is the chemical messaging system, putting chemicals inside of your blood, so they're dealing with the fluids. This system is solely dealing with your fluid. The nervous system is dealing with the electrical signals. But that water, that's that magnetic. It's the endocrine system. And that's why we get a lot of cancers. Because the endocrine system also is pushing out a lot of growth factor. A lot of growth factor, or either a lot of breakdown. Those are the messages this shit is sending. Build up or break down, catabolic or anabolic actions. So when you're going through life and you stressing and you thinking and you worrying and you frustrated and this and you that, you're creating these chemicals in your blood, whether you believe it or not, it's happening, whether you know it or not, it's happening, and whether y'all purchase this or not, this stuff is happening. So it don't really matter. You can go to somebody else that's just gonna sell you a product, but I'm trying to sell you back to Christ. Know thyself. You can't heal yourself unless you know how your body works, spiritually and physically. And that's what we're here to do. This manual says my season is winter. My shift is in 5 years. Do I stay winter? I don't know, because I don't know your owner's manual. Um, it's all about what element. I mean, it's all about what zodiac you're in. Regina, what zodiac are you in? Amen to that. Generation cycles is affecting us all. Emotions, we got to know what they are. Yesterday, I heard you say appetite, but system started freezing yesterday. Can you continue? Yeah, I won't be able to do that, Deb. You can purchase it though. Okay, you can purchase it. Okay, I can't focus on you for free when I actually have people buying these things. Okay, when I do free, it's because I do free. If you missed the free, you missed the free. But you can get your owner's man for a measly, funky $50. Okay, because you buying that with your blood pressure. Okay, right? So if you want it, you can do it that way, but we're not gonna go back and just kind of focus on you like that. Virgo, Pisces, nah, you still not where I want you to be at, Regina. So you can just email me that question so I can pull back up your chart and I'll let you know, because I don't know your chart unless you want to come on the live and talk to us about your owner's manual. If you guys want to come on the live and talk to the people about the owner's manual, what you're going through, what you think, I mean, does you think it worked? Do you think it don't work? Is it a bunch of hogwash? Is it some bullshit? Did I am starting to feel something? It looks like I'm getting difference. I mean, y'all let us know. How can we start to learn for ourselves and research? The biggest thing is to get your owner's manual. That's where you already have you. You don't need to learn this for nobody else, because why? It's too stressful. You just need to learn it for you. It shouldn't be a situation where a group of people need to learn this so that they can try to sell it to or go into. No, the sacredness that I put on this is that what you receive is just for you. The sacredness that I put on this is that what you receive is just for you. thought about writing the books. I thought about doing that, but this is too sacred, and and you need to be initiated. And they ain't gonna let me do that to y'all without calling me a cult. So instead of me being called a cult and sending you through initiations that you ain't never really been thought of before, okay, then we'll just keep it sacred information that you receive just for you. That's it. What you get is just for you. There's no way that you're gonna be able to get what you got and go try to use it on nobody else. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm glad that that's like that because everybody needs it, but that don't mean that everybody needs to try to sell it. This is not a seller's item. Okay, this is not a commodity that everybody need to try to find a marketplace in. That's why you will never see nobody do this like me. I don't give a damn how much y'all follow me, how long y'all watch me. You'll never really understand how I did it, right? Or because you know why? Because I was chosen to figure it out, and it took years of figuring it out. So you can't do it in my video. You got to been done it in my life. You see what I'm saying? I've lived in 5 of the 7 continents. That's an ingredient. Been locked up 15 times. Been down the road. That's an ingredient. I done had plenty of abortions and miscarriages, plenty of risk relationships, marriages. These are ingredients. So you can't never get it like me. But you can get yours for you. So I'm blessed to have found you. Much gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other question? How do I purchase my owner's manual? DM me, please. If you're interested in your owner's manual, just DM me. We'll get you what you need. I understand all that. Need clarification of what you said. Yeah, just I said DM me there if you want more information because I don't remember you or remember that reading. I do so many of these on a day-to-day basis. I don't remember you or that reading. We'll do. Thanks so much. I purchased. Okay, if you purchased, then you know you got my undivided attention. Just email me, and then email me your questions, and then or you can, you guys can't call me. I know y'all scared to, but you can call me. So you can just save my contact, download WhatsApp, and call me. Save my contact, download WhatsApp. You can call me from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Been through the fire without my owner's manual, remaining journeys with my owner's manual. That's it. It's time for it. It's time for us to start getting to the point where we're understanding how to control the narrative and understanding where we are in this paradigm and understanding how to control our own narrative. First thing that we got to do is we got to understand agriculture. Okay. And the reason why it's not what you think it is. Why do you think the first thing we got to do is get an understanding of agriculture? Anybody? Please keep tapping the screen, you guys. I keep tapping, I keep tapping. You guys, thank you for the 100K. Why is it important to know agriculture when we're talking about health? Anybody? Everybody. It's natural. We have to know what to eat because we are what we eat because it is our food source. So we can get the nutrients we need, time to plant, time to harvest. You got to know agriculture because you have to know the spiritual implications of reproduction. Boogie, did y'all hear me? You have to know agriculture because you have to know the spiritual implications of reproduction. Reproducing ain't just about being in no bed with nobody. Your cells are reproducing. The earth goes through these seasons to create reproduction. In order for you to live everlasting life, the sacred science is understanding reproduction. I will say this one more time because I know it's getting late. I got about 11 more minutes with y'all. So this is how I say it. It's not rocket science. The sacred science to the human species, if they want to keep something from you, is to live forever. That's the mystery. So they write it in your books, and you read about people living for forever, and you then create superheroes like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, He-Man, Incredible Hulk. All of these people are nothing but people who live forever. They're immortals. Then you created the Greek god, immortal. Then you created a god, immortal. So you're having this lust to be immortal, like natural elements. The sun is immortal, the air is immortal, the earth is immortal, the water is immortal, but you is keep perishing away. And you are smart enough to see that that is what keeps you vulnerable to this environment. I'm talking to an Asian, Australian, African. Y'all got to hear me. We're talking to the world. I'm talking to you, human. You've been asking this question of why you're here. In any language, you've been asking that question. And because you don't know why, you're choosing a life that is against the physical will of your body, and you run your body down and you call that a life lived. Well, she lived her life, she lived to be 90, she lived to be 50, she lived to be 70. Well, he all right, man. He died, he was 85. 85 out of everlasting is not a long time. Who knows the difference between everlasting and time? You understand the difference between everlasting and time. Did you know that right now you're living this long, but you'll be dead this long? Ain't that right? Right now, if we look at it, you only live this long, but you're dead this long, forever. So that little 75 years has nothing to do with eternal death. But when somebody told you you're supposed to have eternal life, you don't know how to get it. You live in 100 years, but dead a million. And you talking about you know what's going on in the world. There was a sacredness to information, but the people before us didn't know how to do it. And the reason they didn't know how to do it is because just like you and I, they put so much emphasis on the physical and not enough on the spiritual. So for me and you, we are consumptive right now. The modern man is consuming the physical body into submission, where before we were starving the body into submission. Starvation and fasting was always understood as a physical attribute that you need to your spiritual consciousness to support you into spiritual. You have an absolutely clean and and basically debilitated physical attributes. Before Buddha sat up under the tree until he was no more. But when he left the physical to go to the spiritual, the body was too weak to return. Therefore, Buddha died, is not considered one of the resurrected people. Krishna and all these other people tried the same old thing. went to the spiritual world, but couldn't bring their asses back to a body that was not available. The body died. That's been the missing piece. Now y'all can go to anybody else's lives and y'all can go to everybody else's YouTubes and start learning esoteric knowledge and consciousness. You won't get it this way. But I like to teach it so that it can be practical, so that you can not just learn history, learn esoteric knowledge, learn mythology, learn spirituality, but also learn practicality in order for you not to have to go walking around here with rocks and stones and crystals and copper all over your body. You ain't got to look like that. And you don't have to purchase all that stuff. And you don't have to religiousize consciousness. It doesn't have to. Consciousness has been like a church now. You don't have to do that to consciousness. Consciousness is supposed to be a freedom. So why try to put rules and principles and regulations on consciousness? It's the first time when you reach consciousness. That's the first time of bliss. That's the first time of heaven. That's the first time of freedom. So why is it that now I've been consciously free, then now you're gonna tell me how I should look and be? I just got into my free mind and went right back into another man's prison and what that freeness looks like. So we got to understand the values of the information that you're receiving on these social media feeds. It won't happen always, and you can understand that nobody will always have your best interest at heart. Selling you back to you is by far the greatest feat of any salesman, of any jungle. Quite easy to sell you some knives and some and some and some glasses and some potware, some silverware. Very easy to sell you some cars and some clothes and some shoes and jewelry. Hell, I could have even easily sold you some drugs if I wanted to, but that's easy. So who would want it? Yeah, sell a hard headed motherfucker back to a hard headed motherfucker. You hard headed. How the hell you gonna sell a hard headed motherfucker back to a hard headed motherfucker? See, but we can't, and we're not gonna give up because again, knowing the high tide, the frequency is raising. Because it's raising, it's starting to leave behind some fertile silt, and we're gonna use this time of that fertile silt to start planting our seeds. And these seeds are going to be these messages that go along these social media streams. Plant the seeds in our children's mind and plant the seeds of possibility in our parents' mind and plant the seeds of possibility in our grandparents' mind and let them know that even though we are modernizing life, we're still paying homage to the ancient technologies that have gotten us this far. And we know that some things are timeless. One of them is the timekeeper. Get your owner's manual, man. We appreciate all the love, man. We appreciate every single one of you, man. We're coming live from South Africa over here trying to teach this. If you are in South Africa and want me to come to a location and teach you class or whoever you got, please feel free to reach out through email or through WhatsApp and get our attention, and we'll start to give you some information. Okay, man. I love you guys, man. It's absolutely nothing y'all can do about it. We'll be back on tomorrow, same back time, same back. Please go tell people about the HerbMan. Until next time, love HerbMan. Peace. All right, YouTube. Peace out.